back, listeners, to another interesting and fun episode on the BizBlend podcast where mindset meets business and real talk rules the room. I'm your host, Sana, and today's episode dives into something that makes or breaks even the most brilliant business ideas. What's that? Partnerships. When it works, it's magic. When it doesn't, well, you know how that goes. And listeners, joining me today are two incredible women who have not only built a successful business together, but have done it while raising families, navigating growth, and staying in sync most of the time, at least. Listeners, Janki and her co founder, both occupational therapists and moms, are the powerhouse duo behind Jump Ahead Pediatrics, a woman led staffing company that's reshaping how schools access top tier therapy and clinical professionals. They bring insight, authenticity, and their trademark humor to the mic. So, whether you are considering starting a venture with your bestie or trying to figure out if you should just do it all solo, this episode is your reality check and roadmap all in one. So, let's jump in and let's welcome our guests, Brittany Smith and Janki Patel. So, Brittany and Janki, welcome to the show. And I am beyond excited to have you guys with us today.
Hi.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We're really excited.
Okay. So, to both of you, this is a really foundational question, of course. So, what made you both decide to become business partners, and how did you know that the other person was the one to build with?
Yeah, absolutely. I can get started. So Jonky and myself, we went to college together. So
Mm,
we have known each other and we've been friends since probably what Jonk, like 2007, 2008. So we took classes together, we hung out together, we partied together, and we really got along. We studied together a lot, especially as the our courses became more concentrated on our profession. So we're both occupational therapists. We both got our masters in OT.
yeah.
And we did a shorter program. So we went over the summers and, did a 5-year like accelerated program. So, we've known each other a long time. I think that, just always talking to each other, we always had the same vision and we always had the same dreams to own something, eventually. After graduating, we worked together. We always kept in touch. We studied for our board exam together. So again, I think we've always had the, kind of hustler mindset. We worked a lot, long hours and long days. So I think that we both, definitely, again, had the same dreams and ideas. Um,
Mhm.
we had talked about it and we were like, "Oh, one day we'll do this, one day." And one day kind of randomly came and we were like, "Let's do it. Let's, do this together." So, yeah, I think we've always just kind of known.
Yeah. Janki, would you like to add anything to it?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I feel like, we kind of knew how each other worked because we worked in similar like, look, we worked at our jobs together, we went to college together, so we kind of knew, like, each other's personalities, and at least we knew that we got along and that we, were both really ambitious, and that was, like, really important to us. And then I think, like, as we started the business, we knew that, it was gonna be a learning curve and getting to know each other's personalities, and I think a lot of it is just really, like, we got lucky that, like, it really worked out for us because I know that it doesn't always work out for everyone, but for us, um, we're similar in so many senses, but we're different in so many in so many ways, so that definitely, works to our advantage.
I mean, this is it's always great and yeah, definitely it's rare, especially in the business settings. And then what really stands out to me, Janki and Brittany, that how you both seemed to trust instinct and then take the leap as well. And I think a lot of listeners wonder, like, when does partnership feel like alignment versus just convenience or just a mere number based benefit or just a transaction. So it's very rare, but it's such a great example. So to both of you guys, I really love it, really love it. So um I'll come to uh, Janki. What are your non-negotiables when it comes to working together? Like, the specific things or values that keep your business relationship healthy.
I think, like, the only non-negotiable that we really have is to put the business first. So, like, we put the business a lot of the times, above our personal lives. We put it above, like, so many of our financial needs, and we always just say, like, "Yeah, maybe, um, we have a personal thing going on, but we have to do this event," or, "Hey, we're both really strapped for cash, but we can't pay ourselves right now because, like, we need the money in the business." So, like, treating the business as, like, a child and treating it as the number one priority really helps, because then when we're both making business decisions, they're very much based solely on the business. The business comes first. Like, we're not making decisions selfishly, and that has helped us a lot.
Hmm. Brittany, what do you like to add? Anything?
Yeah, sure. I think piggybacking off of that, a big thing is trust. I know that I trust Jonki with my life. I trust her, to always make the best decisions for the business, which in turn, makes good decisions for us. Um, yeah, I mean, I think, that, I just can go over, all the ways that I do trust her. And I think that and I'm sure there's been situations where, you know, maybe, she could have screwed me over, could have, done whatever she wanted. And of course she didn't. And, I would never do that to her either. So I think that trust is a big thing with both of us. And I think that's really rare. I think that's, there's sometimes family members that you can't trust. There's friends, so I think that the facts that we're just in it together, we've called it like a work marriage, that we're just in it and committed. And I think that it's great.
Mm, trust. I mean, this is such a and that too in today's era. I think this is such an important, essential aspect of any partnership, and on top of that, a business partnership, and also, um, it definitely it sounds like a blend of friendship and then firm structure, which is rare and powerful. So, uh, I really thank you, Janki and Brittany, for sharing that. And now, this is something that is really interesting. So, I'll start with Brittany, and then I'll come to Janki. So, Brittany, how do you navigate disagreement when your visions, or let's say any specific idea or decision for the company, they don't match up? Like, any specific decision making moments, or let's say there's an idea that you would like to implement or execute.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jonky and I talked about this recently. I think, and I'll always say, I think we are a good balance. She's really good at just acting and doing and making a decision that needs to be made right at that moment. And I'm more of like, okay, let's sit back and think about it or take our time or see if it works out type of thing. So I think there's situations that call for both of those reactions. And I think that we do a good job as to like if she's just like hell bent on, making a decision or moving forward with something, she's obviously researched it enough. She's has some type of intuition about it. It's what she thinks is best. And if I'm not as educated on it, or or the decision has to be made right now, I'll just trust her and, let her roll with it. And she's definitely done the same for me too. There's been ideas that she hasn't agreed with either. And, I'm hell bent on those. And, we'll go with that. And, again, either way, her or I, sometimes it'll work out, sometimes it won't. And, we roll with it and, pick up any pieces, whether it's mine, hers, and, again, kind of just roll and move on.
Hmm. And Jackie, if you can also shed some light on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think both of us have different strengths. So, like, if I know that Brittany's really good with something and she's really passionate about a decision, and I'm maybe not agreeing with it at a point, I'll say like, "Hey, she has more experience in this. I think let's just trial it." And same with the other way around. Or if somebody's just so adamant, and we have had that where I'm like, "I'm really passionate. I really want to try this." We'll both just be like, "Okay, let's just do it." And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but we never hold it against each other, so that is really helpful, so you're not scared to try something and, that you're really, passionate about, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but always, like, giving the other person the benefit of a doubt and then never making them feel bad if it actually doesn't end up working out has been really helpful.
Exactly, exactly. There's obviously trust, but then respect, and uh, I think it's okay to disagree as long as you're willing to grow through it. So there's a lot of self-awareness and humility in there, and respect for each other. Okay, even if um it didn't work out, or it may not work out, let's just try it out, and let's just try to take the learnings, extract the learnings from in there, and be better next time, when we once again approach the problem or to take the decision. And yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they need to hear this. So you mentioned about the personal lives in the initial part of the conversation, and you are both running a growing business and also raising families, which is spectacular on the next level, because it's just like, handling so many departments and areas together. So how do you divide responsibilities, when, let's say, one person's life outside work, it demands more attention?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I have 3 kids. I had kids a little bit earlier on, and Jonky has been amazing with just giving me the grace of, today, I'll have something for my son or for my daughter or, my other son, and, whether it's a play or a school event, whatever it is, I'll just have to be, not working for a couple hours during the day, or even, drop off, pick up. Maybe I start later, today and work later, do hours, after hours, on the computer when everyone's in bed. So she's always been very just accepting of that and very supportive. And she is due with a baby soon. So, we always joke about how, my kids are definitely older. So it is a lot easier for me at this point to, disconnect or, put the TV on or get a babysitter because they're more accepting of that. So she's like, well, you'll have to, pick up the slack when, she has the baby. So it definitely comes in waves, and I'm just really grateful that she is so and has been so supportive of my life as a mom as well. And I get it. I've been there, done that. So I will be, more than supportive with her as well.
Oh, lovely. You're someone like a godmother.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
And Chanki, congratulations to you. This is such a beautiful, beautiful phase of life in any women's journey. And I would love to know your perspective as well. You must be feeling anxious, but then you know that Brittany's there. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I she knows this. I go to her for, like, advice all the time about being pregnant and, like, mom stuff, like, just everything. She is, like, my go-to person because obviously, she has 3 kids, but she like, in terms of just, like, professional stuff, she's just really smart and is really good at making decisions, so, um, I am like she's always my go-to for any problems I have, and I also feel like with our lives constantly changing and getting busier, we just give
Mhm.
each other the grace to say like, "Hey, maybe you're not gonna put in 100% today, but tomorrow you will," or, "Hey, this month is gonna be really hard for me, so I'll pick up the slack later." And it just has worked out. Like, we don't really all both of us have separate responsibilities, so we know that, like, "Hey, if you need help with something, I'll help you," but we know that we're gonna get the that it comes back to the trust that I trust that she's gonna do her job and I'll do mine, and if she needs help, she'll ask me, and if I need help, I'll ask her. So we always really come through for each other. And I think we set up the business in a really good way where we have a lot of like, we have a really good admin team. Um,
Mhm.
so when we are overwhelmed, we have, like, a lot of backup.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And now, this is a bit of a nuanced question. So I'll start with Janki and then I'll come to Brittany. So, Janki, many people they would have this perspective that having a partner that was especially in business, it slows down decision making and growth. And of course, especially in today's era, um, there are a lot of ways that people won't advise you to have business partners. So if you had gone solo from day one, do you think the business would be further along or not exist at all?
I think going solo would have probably been it just wouldn't have been a great decision because when you have 2 people, you're able to get double the work done. Being on your own, you're not able to, like, talk to someone about what's going on, which in turn stresses you out. Sometimes you're making more impulsive decisions. You're not having someone say like, "Hey, I don't think this is the right decision," or, "I do think this is the right decision." Um, yes, maybe it'll slow down solving problems because maybe you have to talk it through with someone, but I think you'll be more efficient. Like, you'll solve problems, like, better than you would just on your own. Um, People think differently, and it's nice, and especially when things are really, really stressful, it's not just on you, you have somebody to help you. So I actually think it did the opposite. I don't think it slowed down the growth at all. I think it really helped the growth.
I agree. I agree. Brittany, what would
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think that I would have been able to accomplish half of what we have, so early on in our entrepreneurship journey. I think it's a divide and conquer. I think, you have two people who are leading the business doing twice the work at one given time. So I think that, at any point we're, taking the business further than one person could. I think that it's also helpful to, have someone to lean on. I mean, sometimes, even just the two of us will have situations come up and we're like, "Oh my god, who can we call? Who can we get advice from? Where can we lean on other people?" And, you know, it goes back to, like, we always have each other. So if, we're having a really hard situation and we don't like someone's advice and this person doesn't really understand, we're definitely able to talk it out with each other. Um, so I think that that's really helpful. And whether that makes some decisions go a little bit longer because you have two perspectives, I think that sometimes it helps the decisions be more safe and more well thought out rather than one person just, making those decisions, potentially on their own. So I know I'm super grateful to, be in this journey with Junkie for sure.
that is? I think these are such. Um, I think more than relevant and perfect arguments. Even I would like to quote if somebody asks me that, would you like to go for a solo one or a business in partnership? I believe, you know, it's just not a one person show. Um, when there are voices, when there are perspectives, you get to see a bigger picture and you take a mindful decision in there, which is sustainable, which is better for the business, for yourself, for the people who are working with you, for long term. So definitely, there are definitely better and positive sides to business with partnerships. So before we wrap up, Janki and Brittany, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are considering a partnership today? Like, what signs they should run towards it or run away?
Sure. I think that for us, again, super grateful that it has worked out and is working out and will work out. I think it really is about finding the right person. I think just, I think that makes all the difference. There's people that I love in my life. There's, family members and friends. And, I think that, there's everyone has different qualities. And, for me, Jonky just has all of the qualities that jive with my personality, with my goals, with, my end game, is her end game. So I think that, you know, it really comes down to finding the right person. And I think not even that quote unquote back then, I was thinking so strategically. So I think it kind of just worked out, with luck. For both of us. But yeah, I would say, finding the right person um, is key.
Totally, totally. Janki, would you like?
I agree. I think finding the right business partner is key. Also giving someone a chance to, you know, grow and make changes if they need to. But also, if you have a good business and if things are working, um, and you believe in your business, I think everything will work out as long as the other person also believes in the business. So like I think having a partner that is just as like passionate and positive about the growth and about the business and about the ideas is a really good idea because if both of you aren't on the same page and you don't think it's the smartest decision to like grow the business, then it's just not going to work. So as long as you both really are confident in the business and you know that it's going to work out, then I think, it will work out.
Exactly, exactly. Lovely, lovely. So, if our listeners they would like to connect with the both of you and they would like to share their thoughts, learn more about how you guys work, and more about the day to day. How does business partnership look like? What would be the best way?
Sure. They can definitely connect with us on our social media. We're very responsive. It's Jump Ahead Pediatrics on Instagram. They can also definitely email either one of us at director@jumpaheadpediatrics.com or schools with an S at the end at jumpaheadpediatrics.com.
Great. I'll make sure to have all the links mentioned in the show notes and you know to all the listeners. I think listeners, this episode was indeed a full masterclass on partnership. Not just the wins, but the work it takes to keep the relationship aligned and alive. So, Janki and Brittany, thank you to both of you for your transparency, for your laughter, and for showing us what it looks like to build something with intention, grace, and trust and overall mutual respect. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you. It was
Yeah.
awesome speaking with you.
Yeah. And of course, Janki, congratulations. And to all the listeners, once again, if you are listening and you have been wondering whether to partner up, walk away, or renegotiate the terms of your current business relationship, I hope today's conversation gives you that clarity. So until then, this is BizBlend. I'm your host, Sana. We'll catch you in the next episode where we start up more of what it takes to build a business that actually works for your bank account and your soul. Until then, keep blending purpose with profit. Thank you.